We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at these. And what these are, from Salsa Sinaloa Gourmet, we have the Mango Habanero and the Tropical. And as I mentioned in the written review for this, I was initially going to do these separately, but these are way more similar than not. I mean, you can see they're almost identical colored. And we will, of course, look at them in the spoons. So we got a little blurb here. Congratulations. Why? The best mango habanero in the world? No. The best tropical salsa in the world? Also no. So salsa means sauce. It not necessarily that chunky nonsense that a lot of us here in America know it as. It just means sauce generally. All right, so we'll do first the mango habanero. We have water, habanero, mango puree, peach puree, apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, salt, mustard flour, onion powder, garlic powder, xanthan lime juice, and some preservatives. So this is the tropical right here. This one is water, pineapple, mango, habanero, apple cider vinegar, and then the rest are all the same. So brown sugar, salt, mustard flour, onion powder, and garlic powder, and then the preservatives, xanthan gum, lime juice. So the main differences here are that this one, the mango habanero, does not have pineapple, but it does have peach. This one does not have peach, but does have pineapple. So basically, we're looking at sauces where there is one ingredient difference between them. So, and what's interesting is that when I first had this one, this reminded me a lot of like almost a pina colada smoothie. And over time, oh, I forgot about that. I need to get rid of those. Over time, this one has developed a little bit away from that. Obviously, with as forward as pineapple is, though, it's going to be at least somewhat of a resemblance to it. I don't understand why these have restrictor caps. I mean, they're like you can see they're loose, but they're not. You know, these are not watery, anything like that. So, all right, so tropical. Let's take a, we'll do these both together. Let's go put that there so we can see to which sauce it belongs. And we have another restrictor cap here. I don't understand why these are on here. These aren't hot enough to need those, I guess, either. There's not really a reason to do that, I don't think, but so you can see very, very similar sauces. We'll put that down here. And then I think the tropical is slightly darker, but maybe not. No, these are about as identical as you can get. So this one right here is and it's just lighting. Like the lighting is playing a little bit of havoc here. Because, I use natural light. And so that's what happens. But So the Tropical, the Mango Habanero, to me, they're pretty much 6s. So they are both, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much the exact same coloration, which is what we'd expect with the more or less the exact same ingredients. So let's start with the Tropical. So as this one starts to get further into the bottle, they definitely start to resemble themselves more. This one is vaguely tropical, I guess. It's mango and pineapple, of course, are the two main flavors, but all these ancillary ingredients in here are honestly kind of jarring because, you know, mustard flour and garlic and what was the other thing that was in this? Onion powder. You know, this is so we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. So that one, very, very, very mild in terms of heat. I was actually thinking of making like a drink with this one, but the mustard flour and the other stuff is going to be too jarring for that. So this one is the Mango Habanero. It is, oh man, wow. So there's some aspects to these two. This one is notably hotter. This one I would put slightly over a 1. This one probably slightly under a 1 or maybe just like a 1. Neither one of these is particularly hot. Mango on this is not super forward. Actually, neither one of these is a super forward. So the aspect I was talking about with the onion powder, the garlic powder, and the mustard flour, a lot of that stuff is ingredients that you would put in a chili. And so this reminds me of like a chili or maybe even a taco seasoning with habanero as the chili instead of like ancho. And it is so jarring to have that here with this. Fruit-based sweet hots, we're expecting it to be fruit forward and then, you know, somewhat hot, but definitely a lot sweeter. And these two are just really just a really curious approach to like a fruit-based sweet hot. And they're just wild. This one though, the other ingredients are far more forward in this one, and the fruit's more forward in this one, and the other ingredients are more subtle. That's the major differences. So if you want to get a little bit more of the fruit along with your mustard flour and your other chili ingredients, then this would be the one to go with. And if you want something a little bit hotter, but I don't know why they did that. It's such a weird approach to me to put those ingredients in this type of sauce, because you wind up with this just sort of amalgamation. Honestly, I think it's a little bit conflicting. I don't think the flavors are quite melding with each other super well. So it's certainly not the best mango habanero sauce I've ever had. Honestly, probably towards the lower ones, but these are very, very, very similar sauces. Just if you want heat, this would be the one to get. Yep, Del Taco again. And let's see what we get today. So I got a pair of these, this is the crispy chicken taco. And this is also a crispy chicken taco. These are both habanero. I just got the habanero ones. And here we have, not going to be using limes. These are the shrimp. They're shrimp tacos, which actually I think is one of the better things that's been on their menu. Like Del Taco has a couple food products they do very, very, very well. One of them for me is the green bean burrito. And almost too well because it's really hard to pair it with anything. And these shrimp tacos I would also put into the running as well. Don't know what that is. I don't want to eat it. All right, so let's start with the chickens. So we're going to dial up the tropical right here. These also, I'm not familiar with Sinaloa as a sauce maker. I just came across them randomly. Actually, when I was in, I think I might have mentioned this as well in the El Yucateco Habanero and Chiltepin video. But I went to the Mexican market to get, more of a sauce just to have on hand. And these were just kind of random finds I came across on the shelf. So, but I don't know. These, again, I hate when this happens, but these I'm starting to like less as this wears on a little bit. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be finishing either of these sauces. They're not bad or offensive or anything. It just, this one I do like. This is actually quite good on this. This is one, even though this is not the hotter of the two, it's tropical. This is one I would keep around because that aspect of the mustard flour and all the other stuff is really not very forward in this one. It is way forward and it's like super distracting. I remember when I first opened it, I kept thinking, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. It's sort of like a, the question is if you had a pina colada smoothie as a sauce inspiration. This thing, I was actually really confused with this sauce. And I went through more and more. We're trying to figure out what was wrong with it, And I couldn't agitate the flavors together. All right. Most sauces, not all of them, I think most sauces, I tend to try with chicken strips because, I've said this before in other videos, but I've had it many, many, many times. And so I have a good frame of reference, but also I think it's a really neutral food. And it gives you a good shape, I think, of the sauce, for the first go. All right, so this is the mango habanero. Yeah, I don't like that. I could make a free chili, I guess. Get some, get some mangoes and make it with this sauce. And then maybe, I don't know. Probably after it's done cooking, just cut in some fresh mangoes. And maybe some pineapple too. Just see what happens. You gotta be careful with the mangoes because they'll turn to mush if you try to cook it with the chili. But I guess this wasn't horrible. The initial bite didn't have any of the mango sauce from Del Taco, but this did mess with it pretty nice once it got there. All right. The chicken's done. This one I thought was better. All right. On to their fish. Shrimps. They are sea life, but the shrimp tacos. Okay, let's dial them up. I don't understand why there's restrictor caps on these. I'm really kind of interested to see how this is going to go with shrimp. Because there's no mango sauce from Del Taco for this one to hide behind. Wow. Wow. That's kind of unpleasant. What's interesting is I went to the Sinaloa website. And I don't see either of these sauces on there anymore. Now, I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking around, but I just found that a little curious. Honestly, sometimes hot sauce websites aren't very good, though. This is a big multinational company. So for me, my expectation is probably that they should have a good website, right? But same thing with El Yucateco. They're a big multinational company too, and their website's also trash. This is not great. I will say that. This one is not working at all well with the shrimps. The good thing with adventuring and stuff like this is I got both of these bottles, I want to say, for like $6 or $7. So together, these are collectively less than like a single bottle from, a lot of the more well-known chili head brands that we all know and love. So if I do wind up having to bin it, and I don't buy sauces with the expectation that I'm going to have to punt on them most of the time, I guess it's not the end of the world. But these shrimp tacos are a limited time thing. So even if they don't work that well on this, I don't know, I might still keep this one around. It was not bad on chicken strips also. Okay, on to the mango habanero.
Well,
I was trying to figure out why I couldn't taste it, and apparently I didn't put any on there. I've done a lot of these videos A very seasoned and polished professional reviewer who can't remember to put sauce on things. So I don't think they put their secret sauce on these. Oh wait, never mind. I lied, they did. All right. Del Taco gets a pass. This is a mistake. This mustard flour and the other stuff. It is so unnecessary. Like, all right, so the water, the habanero pepper, the mango, the pineapple, the peach, all that's fine. I don't love apple cider vinegar, but it really isn't influencing the taste too much, so that's fine too. The brown sugar, always love brown sugar. Sea salt, also fine. The mustard, garlic, and onion, I think, is kind of a problem here. And there's also lime juice as well, although that really doesn't play into things. I honestly, I don't think it's the garlic and onion. I think it is the mustard flour.
I think they just...
Here's the thing with ingredients, right? If the sauce is going to be better without it, why put it in? What are you trying to gain with mustard flour here? I like mustard, but I feel like mustard is a very, overall, honestly, somewhat of a polarizing flavor. And literally the last thing I would use, I guess not literally, one of the many last things I would use mustard on would be fruit, tropical or otherwise. So I guess I just don't understand what we're doing putting it in these sauces. I don't get it. I don't understand why. This guy's name is Mr. Merino. Why is there mustard flour in these sauces? Honestly, I think it kind of ruins this one. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have any intention of eating any more of this one after this video. This one, I am gonna try to kick it around a little bit more, but that's what I always tell everybody, right? I've said it on this channel many times. Test something out, be fair, kick it around. We've used not quite half a bottle of these two, but life is too short for bad sauces. You know, and I can't tell everybody that and then not take my own damn advice. So anyway, this one's going to be sailing to the wind. This one I probably am going to keep around and play with a little bit more. Interestingly, I like this one better when it's colder. As it's warmed up while I've been shooting this, I've liked this one a lot less, but this one, man, it's just, I try to find things to pair with this, and it's a non-starter because the mustard flour, for whatever reason, is much further forward in the flavor profile of this one than it is on this one. And that's maybe the entire reason I find this one so much better tasting. And that, you know, it doesn't matter how hot something is for me anyway. It has to taste good. It has to add and it has to contribute and increase the enjoyment of the food you're using it on. Otherwise, why do it? And this one is definitely in the why do it, and I won't be anymore after this. And this one is, like I said, I'll probably kick it around, but I'm prepared to kind of punt this one to the wind as well. I am just kind of partial to pineapple as a rule, so there you go with that one. I'm a little bit more tolerant, I guess, of that flavoring system. So, but I mean, it was still fun. It was still fun to kind of play around with these. Definitely a very interesting spin that I certainly have had nowhere else before on the fruit-based sweet hots. It's not a spin I particularly love, if I'm being honest here, but you know, that's information is good, right? It's good to experience things and gain knowledge and stuff, and you know, sometimes that's all you walk away from, but it's still, to me, worthwhile. So we'll just leave it there. So that was the Salsa Sinaloa Gourmet Tropical and the Mango Habanero hot sauces.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.